Giant hail hits mid-Missouri.
And social media showcases some of the weather extremes.
And the tornado watch has been extended till 5 o'clock in the morning.
From Studio 8A, coverage you can count on in high definition. This is KOMU 8 News at 10.
Extreme weather passed through mid-Missouri today, leaving behind trails of hail. The storm sent mid-Missourians heading for cover as tornado warnings popped up this evening. Good evening, everyone. I'm Danny Speedwalk.
And I'm Brittany Pieper. Thanks for joining us. Let's send it straight over to Dave with the latest on what you can expect overnight and into tomorrow.
Looks like the thunderstorms continue to roll through. In fact,
throughout the height of the storms, hail hammered mid-Missouri.
This golf ball-sized hail fell along Nifong Boulevard around 6 this evening. The heavy rains also caused some minor flash flooding, sending water rushing over roads. This right here is from Mill Creek Manor off of Route KK, where the water crept across one lane. Now, we have been monitoring the storms throughout our viewing area all night.
KOMU 8's Elizabeth Hagedorn was in Audrain County earlier, and she joins us over the phone with more on the weather she's experiencing there. She's out there checking out damage reports. Some of the high winds really did cause some damage in parts of our viewing area. When severe weather strikes, many of our viewers are the first to share with us what's happening in their own backyards.
KOMU 8's Alon Gilbo is here with some of the astounding pictures people posted earlier on social media. Alon.
That's right. We've been combing through Facebook, Twitter, even YouTube to find some of the best pictures and videos from the hailstorm.
Thanks, Alon, and we'll be sure to keep you updated on all the latest weather conditions overnight. You can also turn to KOMU.com for more information, and never be surprised by the weather. You can have it wherever you go. Download the new KOMU 8 weather app from the Apple App Store or Google Play, and you can store it on your phone or tablet.
People at a Columbia shopping center had a scare unrelated to the weather today. A driver backed into the entrance of the Crossroads Mall on West Broadway this afternoon. According to the Columbia Fire Department, the driver of a brown or tan sedan bent the doors inward after hitting them and then sped off. Deanna Bartlett, a consultant at Jenny Craig, was sitting just across the lobby when the car hit the doors. She says employees at nearby stores wasted no time in clearing the area of debris.
One of the girls from here and some of the other girls from one of the other stores were already over there sweeping up the glass before the fire department even got here, trying to clean up to make sure that nobody would get hurt with any of the broken stuff.
Bartlett says the car's impact shook the building. Repair people had to replace the door frames and the glass above the doors. Nobody was injured.
The Columbia Bicycle and Pedestrian Commission met tonight at City Hall to talk about crosswalk and sidewalk projects for the 2014 financial year. Public Works did a study to determine top priority streets needing sidewalk maintenance. The 4 streets are Locust Street, Aletta Boulevard, North Garth Avenue, and the intersection at Clinksdale Road and Worley Street. The projects will require various work such as sidewalk widening, updating pedestrian crosswalks, fixing curb ramps, and adding new sidewalks altogether.
We get a list of those sidewalk projects. We evaluate them based upon any number of factors, such as are there alternative connections, how many pedestrian generators are there, what is the cost of this project, how long would it take to implement it, what's the topography. So there's many different issues that we look at.
The commission agreed to support the projects and move to start the design process. That will happen next year, and the construction would start in 2015.
After much confusion in the national media today, investigators in Boston are now focused on still images captured before and after the bombing. So far, there are still no arrests, but a series of images have surfaced that reportedly show the bomber police are searching for. Parts of Boston are still shut down, and there was another bomb threat at the federal courthouse this afternoon. President Obama is expected to visit the city of Boston tomorrow.
Most Missouri residents who were in Boston for the bombings are now making their way home or are already home. KOMU 8 News talked to one of the runners who just returned to Columbia and is trying to make sense of the tragedy.
I think I won't ever forget about my experience. We went there for one purpose, was to run and to celebrate as my running group and to have fun with that, and my husband going with me. And in the end, it turned out to be a much more magnified experience than ever expected. And I won't ever forget that, but I'm not going to let that ruin my running.
Bond is a 2nd and 3rd grade teacher at Cedar Ridge Elementary, and she said she is relieved to be back at home with her students.
In other national news, a Mississippi man has been arrested and accused of sending letters with suspected ricin poison to President Obama and other elected officials. Officials say 45-year-old Paul Kevin Curtis was arrested today. Authorities are still waiting for definitive tests on the letters sent to President Obama, Mississippi Senator Roger Wicker, as well as a Mississippi justice official. The FBI says more testing was underway because preliminary field tests can often show false positives for ricin. The letters were intercepted before reaching the White House or the Senate.
A computer glitch at the state capitol has some people worried about whether their taxes went through.
Why are people impoverished? Why aren't there jobs for them?
Students standing up for what they believe in and changing their definition of going green. We'll be right back after this.
Former U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations John Bolton spoke to reporters in Fulton today. He spoke on several topics from North Korea to the sequester budget cuts to the late Margaret Thatcher. And he says that China is the key to any action in North Korea.
And until we engage China, which uniquely has the ability to make that regime behave in a different way, or to acquiesce in what's inevitable at some point anyway, which is the reunification of the Korean Peninsula.
Bolton was in town to tour the National Winston Churchill Museum before speaking at for the museum at an event in St. Louis.
Randolph County prosecuting attorney filed paperwork saying he intends to seek the death penalty in the Moberly Easter murder case. Christopher Lewis and Jeffrey Nichols are suspects in the murder of a 92-year-old Moberly resident, Carmelita Kaiser. Second, we know now that Judge Scott Hayes is set to preside over the preliminary hearings in both of those files. Police say the men told them they entered the home to rob the woman. Witnesses found her with a large wound in her neck. The prosecutor is seeking the death penalty for 4 reasons. The following: the murder was outrageously vile, horrible, or inhuman. The murder took place during an attempted robbery. The murder took place to get money or items from the victim or another person. The murder took place to avoid or prevent arrest. The prosecution says it is comfortable with the amount of evidence it has to seek capital punishment.
I definitely believe that we have enough information to proceed with notice of the aggravators. And then, of course, everything else is up to the judge and the jury.
Fusselman added that he should have dates for the preliminary hearing within the next few weeks.
Boonville police told us today they're waiting to inspect a package they suspect contains 10 pounds of marijuana. The police office received 2 suspicious boxes. Both were heading to the same vacant address. The St. Louis inspectors confiscated the first box with about $90,000 worth of pot. The packages came on different routes. Express mail packages only come through St. Louis. That's why the postal inspectors opened it there. The other traveled through priority mail. Detectives say that's a common method to transport drugs.
If you're on the West Coast and you want to get some drugs to the East Coast, the fastest way is through the mail. They're just trying to fool the mail system by the way they package it.
Ayers says the department should gain approval sometime next week to get inside that box to conduct a lab test and fingerprint inspections.
The Missouri House has preliminarily approved sweeping measures that would expand gun rights in the state and allow certain school officials to carry concealed weapons in school buildings. The bill would allow appointed protection officers to carry concealed weapons as long as they have a valid permit and register with the State Department of Public Safety. The officers would also be required to complete a training course established by the Peace Officer Training Commission. And some Missouri taxpayers are still waiting on an e-receipt to confirm they've paid their state taxes. But Missouri Department of Revenue officials told us today they shouldn't panic. The state is aware of the delay on the electronic receipts. It's due to an IRS system failure last Friday, combined with high volumes of filing and a small downloading glitch at the Missouri Department of Revenue.
Changing the culture of going green, how one group of MU students are trying to do just that.
And hey, check your Midland weather radios as thunderstorms continue to roll through Missouri overnight. The forecast is next.
We have some breaking news for you tonight. Authorities say an explosion at a fertilizer plant near Waco, Texas, has injured several people. A dispatcher with the West Texas Fire Department says the explosion happened just before 8 tonight at a fertilizer plant in the community north of Waco. A spokeswoman with the Department of Public Safety says troopers have been transporting the injured to hospitals in Waco in their patrol cars. She says helicopters were also en route.
Now, your live Doppler 8 First Alert weather with Chief Weathercaster Dave Schmidt.
Well, good evening to you.
So how late do you think you're going to be here tonight?
I don't know. I didn't bring any oatmeal for breakfast, but
we'll
see what I can do. I'll go raid the candy machine.
We got enough to feed you for a while.
Okay.
Well, changing the meaning of the word green. Coming up, see how some Mizzou students think society needs to alter its definition.
And here's your lottery numbers. Good luck.
Now, from the Ford Sports Desk, KOMU 8 Sports with Chris Gervino.
Hello, everyone. The Missouri men's basketball team has a new post player, 6'11" center Keanu Post.
We have an update for you out of Waco, Texas. We told you earlier about a possible fertilizer plant explosion. We now have an aerial picture from the scene. You can see all the emergency crews there. Tomorrow on KOMU News Today, we'll have an update on that situation. Dave?
Thunderstorms continue to affect the very northern part of our viewing area, although a tornado watch has been extended till 5 a.m. for most of the viewing area. The counties you see shaded in